In a small village in Japan, there lived a ninja named Kenji. He was not strong. He was not brave. And he was definitely not hardworking. People laughed at him every single day. While others trained before sunrise, Kenji stayed in bed. While others practiced sword fighting, he sat under a tree eating dumplings. And whenever someone asked him why he never trained, he simply yawned and said, "Sounds tiring." Everyone laughed. Even Master Hero, the leader of the ninja school, looked disappointed in him. One morning, Master Hero ordered all the students to run 10 laps around the temple. The students immediately started running. But after a few minutes, Kenji disappeared. The students searched everywhere. And finally, they found him sleeping on the temple roof. Master Hero walked toward him slowly and said, "A person who runs away from difficulty will one day run away from people who need help." Kenji laughed carelessly, but deep inside, those words stayed in his heart. A few weeks later, something terrible happened. Late at night, loud bells echoed across the village. Kenji woke up in fear. Outside, people screamed and ran through the streets. The dangerous Shadow Clan had attacked the village. Houses burned in flames. Smoke covered the sky. Children cried in fear. The ninja students grabbed their weapons and rushed into battle. But Kenji froze. His body shook. His hands trembled. He whispered, "I can't fight." Then he turned around and ran away into the forest. Far from the battle. Far from the danger. Far from responsibility. Kenji hid behind a giant rock, breathing heavily. For the first time in his life, he felt ashamed. He could hear his village suffering in the distance, and he hated himself for doing nothing. Suddenly, an old man appeared from the darkness. He carried firewood on his back and looked strangely calm. The old man sat beside Kenji and asked, "Why are you hiding?" Kenji looked down. "I'm not brave." The old man smiled gently. Then he said, "Bravery is not something people are born with." Kenji stayed silent. The old man pointed toward the burning village and asked, "Do you know why warriors fight?" Kenji shook his head. The old man answered softly, "Not because they enjoy fighting, but because someone must protect the weak." Those words hit Kenji deeply. For years, he only cared about comfort, about sleep, about avoiding pain. But now, people needed help, and he was hiding. The old man handed Kenji a wooden sword and said, "A lazy person waits for a hero. A warrior becomes one." Kenji slowly stood up. He was still afraid. But this time, he started walking back toward the village. Soon, walking became running. When he arrived, chaos was everywhere. The Shadow Clan leader was attacking Master Hero. The students were losing badly. Kenji looked around nervously. Everyone seemed stronger than him, faster than him, better than him. For one moment, he almost ran away again. But then he remembered the old man's words. Someone must protect the weak. Kenji grabbed a broken spear from the ground and shouted, "Leave my village alone." The enemy soldiers laughed. They mocked. But Kenji attacked anyway. Not perfectly, not skillfully, but fearlessly. And during the battle, Kenji noticed something important. Because he always looked for easier ways to do things, he had become very observant. He noticed the enemy leader had a weakness. Every time the leader attacked, his left side opened for 1 second. Kenji waited carefully. Then, at the perfect moment, he struck. The enemy leader fell to the ground. Silence filled the village. The Shadow Clan retreated into the darkness. The village was saved. Everyone stared at Kenji in shock. Master Hero smiled proudly and said, "Today, you became a true warrior." Kenji lowered his head quietly. Then he answered, "No, today I finally stopped running away." Years later, people across Japan still told stories about Kenji. Not because he was the strongest ninja, but because he proved something powerful. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite fear. And sometimes, the person everyone calls weak becomes the hero nobody expected.